Everything I say is not financial advice. Now, I know it seems like I've been bitter and angry towards certain EVM chains, podcasters, YouTubers, right? But you know, you have to know my background. I'm a Bitcoin maxi, and I'm used to I'm used to calling out scams, right? Now the problem was I was wrong about a lot of them, right? Because I was blinded by the maxi genetic code, but now I'm using more logic, and I just want to take you through a little story with the Merlin chain, but it's going to apply to investments that I'm talking about and crazy news that I have for you guys. Okay, so we'll start off with that, and then I'll get to the absolutely insane alpha. Well, I think it's absolutely insane alpha for today that I've been tweeting about. Okay, so go read my tweets. I'm not going to show you the tweets where I say I have insane alpha. I think it's absolutely bonkers alpha. Okay, but let's just go through my thought process here. Okay. So if you don't know what the Merlin chain is, it's basically a side chain that a bunch of YouTubers and podcasters have been talking about. And I just want to say that, you know, I'm not a huge, YouTuber. I'm a small guy, but, I know how this works, right? Okay, so that's what I'm right here. These guys are not your friends, okay, a lot of the time. It's obvious that they're getting some type of deals. Now, I'm not going to call people out. I'm not going to say what the deal is, right? But I just know that this is happening. And I'm not against making money, but there's a way to go about it where you tell people what's going on, right? Where you just you're using Bitcoin for hype, right? Okay, just say, Bitcoin is not getting a lot of fees from this because it's using Ethereum, right? And that's verifiable. I've asked multiple people, multiple actual businesses or what do you call them, DAOs or whatever, in the Bitcoin DeFi space, coders in the Bitcoin DeFi space, and just logic, and it's true. You're not getting a lot of fees if you're bridging to Ethereum to do these transactions. It makes no sense. Okay. Now, let's continue on. And why am I talking about this? Well, some of it is because we're all mentally ill from being on crypto Twitter, like this guy is saying, okay? Right? We all look like this after so many years, right? They'll call you lucky, but you had to be on crypto Twitter, the worst place on the planet for years. And now you're pre-rich and extremely mentally ill. There's some truth to that, right? I mean, so maybe that's why I'm doing this. But there's also many other reasons, right? Okay, so I just want to say, I've verified this with multiple people, right? And here's the logic. And this is basically what it's saying in this thread in so many words. I'm not an expert, right? But what Merlin is basically a trusted bridge database, right? Which is like Oracle, okay? And that's not what we proved to you yesterday. That's not what we want with Gary Gensler. But let me tell you how Merlin chain works, just so for the background. In order to swap or use their DeFi program, I'm assuming, I know for sure swap, you have to bridge on Ethereum with WBTC, and then you deposit WBTC into the Merlin chain. Now, take a step back with me. What's the difference between bridging to Ethereum with WBTC and using Uniswap or AV or some other DeFi protocol, right? And bridging to Ethereum with WBTC and then bridging onto another one? What is the difference? There is no difference, okay? It's just a bunch of nonsense, and they're selling you a product. You are the product. That doesn't mean you can't make money. That doesn't mean it won't go up in value. That doesn't mean anything. It just means that everybody's being misleading, okay? Now, but it's important why that's important, right? And I wrote this. This is one of the reasons, right? All the Merlin boys are absolutely getting blown out right now. Opportunity cost. What is the opportunity cost from not just doubling down on the things that are working, right, and doing anything else? Stacks is almost up 900% on the year. Trac is up like 70 to 100% on the year. You're telling me you're going to leave those chains, that opportunity cost, and go to the Merlin boys? Why? Right? You're going to lock your Trac up, right, on the Merlin chain and not be able to get the tap airdrop, right? Opportunity cost. This is a basic concept. But there's also another reason, right? if you're just hopping in everything because some YouTuber is telling you, right? And I want you to be able to hop in that if that's what you want. If you want to hop into MERL chain, that's perfectly fine, right? But if you're doing that, you're making your brain straight up dumb, right? Because you're going to miss the next opportunity that is real, right? I'm not saying it's Justin Tron's, right? Where he's the Justin Sun, the creator of Tron, who's also getting into the L2 space. I'm not sure if it is real L2 or what. But you will miss it, right? I've been where you are, right? It makes no sense. But you're just going to say, oh, I'm going to hop to one, to hop to the next. It doesn't work like that. It's not easy. Okay. Right? Another real project, which we've proven through the one of the developers, that all these EVM based with rollups and all, it can't be done on Bitcoin. You're not using the base layer. And that goes back to what this guy is saying, the light, right? It doesn't work. You have to use a specific rollup. And Sovryn is making Bitcoin OS, a guy who discredited SavM, right? You're going to miss that. Now, let's just go to Sovryn for a while. This thing has been on an absolute tear, right? It's a little down today, I think. I don't think it's at 227 anymore. 222. Absolute tear. 300% on the month. It doesn't look like it's stopping. Now, I've asked if I can release this information, but it's insane alpha in my mind. Now, you may not be hyped, but I am absolutely getting super vibes from this, right? Like it's another like beaming star in the sky, like a clue, like I need to keep following this, right? Sovryn, right? Trac. I talk about these relentlessly. What is Trac coming out with an airdrop? Tap. And this is the chart. It looks like we're going to wedge and moon. I could be wrong, right? Bitcoin could dump. But what is coming on the books for these things? Now, a few weeks ago, Sovryn wrote this, tap, tap, right? I didn't know what that meant. What does tap, tap mean? This was February 7th. This was last week. That was a hint. I knew it was a hint, right? We've got Sovryn, what I always talk about. I always talk about Trac. And Trac is airdropping tap. And Sovryn wrote tap, tap. So what does that mean? Now, if you remember, I've been talking a lot, tweeting a lot about Ghosty Cash. I said, Ghosty Cash needs to make a tap DEX. Right? Because all we have right now is ORNJ's wallet. And it's terrible. ORNJ's wallet is terrible. I'm not trying to bash their product. It just doesn't work well. It's not a real DEX, right? But that's probably all they can work with. But you know what I found out? Sovryn, and this is, things can change, but I've heard it from developers themselves, is going to make a tap exchange. Now, that's fucking insane alpha. I didn't know this, but for months, I've been talking about Bitcoin DeFi, Sovryn, and Trac. And now we've got a perfect synergy, explosion, love bubble happening. But that's not all. Okay? That's not all. We're going to keep going. You've got the Karma airdrop now open for Trac members. Okay? Now, whether that is good or whether that is bad, I don't know. But prominent people are talking like Karma is going to be a bridge between the rest of crypto and Bitcoin, right? Is it for NFTs? Is it for BRC20s, right? I've heard hints of everything, so I'm not going to speculate. Now, that doesn't mean you should swap your Trac. You do whatever you want. You don't even have to have Trac. I'm just talking about theories. But it's also important to point out that tap, before the exchange has even dropped on ORNJ's wallet and wherever else they sell, has two times the volume of BRC20s already. That's not all. Runes, which is the creator of Runes, right, is Casey Admar, and he is the creator of Ordinals, right? Is coming out. I don't know if it's a competitor to Tap. I don't know if it's a competitor to Trac, but that doesn't matter. You know what I found out? And I've had permission to talk about this. Sovryn is not only probably going to have a tap exchange, it's going to have a fucking runes exchange, dude. Now, whether that comes to fruition, I have no idea. But I am insanely bullish. Not just a little bullish, insanely bullish on Sovryn. Okay, totally unreleased to the public at this point. I think he said I could release that information, but maybe he'll ban me or not talk to me anymore or whatever. But this. Think about this. Retail is not here, and you have this information. Listen to what I'm saying again. I've been talking about Sovryn for a month. Bitcoin DeFi. Fundamentals without anything else. Trac, I've been talking about for a month. They've got NAT under it, non-arbitrary token, right? Depending on Trac. Trac is airdropping Tap, Trac will index for Tap. Trac can be used to become a validator. Also bullish, taking up supply. But Tap and runes might be tradable, right? Things could go wrong on Sovryn. Okay. Absolutely insane alpha. Now, I just want to say that I've been talking about stacks for a long time, and we must not forget that at the start of this, just to get to Matic's valuation, it was a 23 times. We're up 700, 800%. And that was without any appreciation for Bitcoin. So at the minimum, if you made a killer, you still have, based on this one metric alone, over a 10x. So I just don't want you to forget that. Anyway, I don't know if you could feel it in how I'm talking to you about how excited I am about this. And I know you're excited because I know other people who listen to me and talk to me are beaming with joy about how well they're doing theoretically. I know for a fact we are absolutely destroying the gaming crypto sphere, who launch coins at 100 million FDV. We are destroying everybody. And I need you, right? And I'm going to go find this tweet that I said today, because this is so important, right? It's absolutely catastrophically important, okay? Where is it here? This is no, that's not it. That's not it. Oh my God. I just have so many. I got to stop tweeting, okay? It's actually crazy. Okay, here it is, right? This is how you bring it all together. If you don't get why my strategy is repeating things over and over and over, look no further than your attention span. I know it's like that of an ant. Every new coin, right? You have that monkey brain. I know it. But I want you to make it. You have to make it. I'm begging you to focus here. I have figured out this situation. Now, the world is a series or a string of statistical possibilities, right? And this may be 100% wrong. But I feel like I'm absolutely on to something here. And everybody needs to start paying attention, okay? Everybody. I've got a hunch. So you can call me Hunch.